Hey you guys, welcome back to the table. Highway 1 RC. Jay, tell them who we got at the table today, man.
Today we got a great driver, Proline driver, off-one crawler, Sean Speedbump Willaims, and a great builder as well.
And you saw us show you this on New Year's, this truck that this guy blessed me with right here. We got him to talk about it. Tell you guys what he did, how he came up with this thing. And he brought something exclusive from Proline to show you guys.
Talk about this one first, though.
Here you go, man. It's your product. Tell them what you did here.
This is actually my first crawler I ever got into with crawling. Viterra Ascender originally is what it started as, and at the time when I was down south in San Diego, basically I just wanted to do something different. So ended up back halving the entire truck from the frame and actual tube, 035 walled and 020, and started welding as a TIG welder by trade for many years before I started school up here, and just kind of did my own custom iteration with the Viterra. Still kept it where you can actually adjust the frame in and out on itself, and you just have the back cage, and I don't know, I just went from there. And then eventually I kept breaking Viterra internal gears and their axles and stuff. I got sick of it, so I ended up swapping SCX-10-2 axles under it, because to be honest, those things are freaking stronger than anything I've played with so far.
You never blew a set of these?
Never. I have not broken a set of Viterra 2 axles. Or
I mean, Ascender. 10-2 axles.
Oh, that's what I get.
You know what's a trip is Viterra Ascender was the first truck I had, and the torque twist always like threw me off. And then I started blowing axles, and I just left Viterra ever since. But this was the first Viterra that I was like, yo, I'm in love again. You know, because you got hold of the torque twist.
Yeah, by the gear reduction in the axles. The other issue with that, though, is the transmission for Viterra has a really it's geared down. The reduction in it's a lot. So when you go to these axles, the thing is super slow. So I actually ended up putting a 2-speed crawler transmission in it, and then startle easy, guys. You know, not used to this area.
It's my racing pigeon birds right there. Scared, my bird scared him.
Yeah, I swapped to a 2-speed transmission and then upped the pinion quite a bit. So now it's nice. You have a super crawl gear, but then if you put it in second, it's pretty dang fast and it crawls moderately well. So you kind of get that realistic, like you're geared really low, and then you have a second speed to kind of play with it. So
what motor do you run in there?
That's Holmes Hobbies, the hand-built one. It's the Pro. I can't really remember right now.
Well, you know what? We'll open it up.
Okay.
But I wanted to let you guys know in person, if you saw the craftsmanship he did.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Like
functioning brake lights.
Factory.
Rock lights.
Spare compartment.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is this truck was actually, my original design was to build it for the G6, Recon G6 crawls for the 12-hour. We did complete it with this truck.
With that truck.
No breakage. I had a minor wiring failure on a headlight, so I wasn't running one headlight at one point, but that was it.
Explain to them about a G6 run if they don't know.
Basically, you torture test your equipment. So for G6, Parker puts it on. The guy's awesome.
What's up, Parker? We haven't met you, but me and Jay are big fans.
He's the most lovable guy. Awesome. Always wears a kilt and stuff when he's out there crawling. Guys, I love that guy. You torture test your vehicle, so you'll have a winch gate. You have to winch through it. It's mandatory. That's basically after a 12-hour event. If everything's still working, they give you a cert saying it's Recon G6 certified.
Clock.
It's still a big thing. It's very popular for manufacturers to submit cars and stuff. It's just like saying that their cars are proven. They're built and tested, and they go through the Recon G6 and survive it. So
the person has to make it too. 12 hours of RC.
And I think that's the reason why they were, Parker was boosting up the Charisma so much, because that truck took a beating and it got through that thing. When it came out, the Charisma, the Coyote Charisma, if you guys remember that product.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It was a fun time, and it's a good event. So I actually built the cage knowing Parker actually makes your vehicle carry a spare for the Recon G6, and halfway through the race, you come into the pit, they mark you down for a lap, they're like, okay, you're going to swap out your spare with this actual tire. They tell you the front, back, whatever. So then you have to actually give them the tire you take off and show them you're putting a spare tire on that the vehicle carries. Now, a lot of that's tricky because you have weighted tires, stuff like that. So you're putting a weighted spare somewhere on the vehicle. Usually they're hanging off the rear, and it's like, that's kind of like, it throws your weight bias off or how you want to crawl. So the way I designed this cage was incorporate it as close to the center of the gravity of the truck as I could and keep it as scale looking. So that's why I ended up with the spare back here, as close to the center as I could, and it's a full-size spare. You can run an XL, any tire you want in there, and it's perfect for the Recon G6. You just pull it out, swap it on, and you know, you check your real tire for the event. So,
and that's why I think Proline is a smart company, because they're messing with a dude that's pushing the culture forward. When this dude's building, pay attention to this man, Sean Speedbump Willaims. He's thinking about top heaviness. He's thinking about articulation. He's talking about gear reduction. I'm telling you, this guy is not just putting a truck together just for play. He's going out there serious, and he gives us a tremendous amount of respect, because he tells us we push him. I like that he tells us that, because if you ever watched the videos with him before, we're doing hills where we both look at each other like, "You ready?" And he's like, "I don't know, but we'll go." And we've had a great time.
Always down to go, man.
And that's so, you know what? Let's open this up. I want you guys to see how he does his insides real quick.
Pigeon.
All right, Sean, tell him what's going on in the inside here.
all right, so we have the Crawlmaster Pro 540 ESCs, hand wound by Holmes Hobbies. These motors are absolutely worth it. You can get some serious RPM out of them, as well as just the torque and consistency they have pulling is amazing. It's paired up with their brushed ESC. It's kind of buried under this wiring. I made this wiring harness. There's a lot of wiring in this car for all the lights and everything else, but one of the cool things I did with the shift, the Viterra Ascender transmission runs a smaller shift servo, and what I was actually having some issues with is burning them out. The motors actually put off a magnetic field, so I was actually noticing when I was full throttle that the shift servo would start twitching, and then they'd get hot and kind of burn out. So I ended up going to a full-size servo and trying to put it off to the side of the car, so it was less CG up high.
Hold on. Magnetic force was pulling at it. Do you see how in depth we're around Sean? Magnetic force.
Straight up.
All right,
magnetic field.
My bad.
No worries. Just with any motors, any especially two-pole stuff like that, they put off magnetic field when there's voltage applied, and it can sometimes make other things twitch and do things. That's why you'll have glitch busters and other things in certain components. Sorry, engineering student, so I dork out on
No,
this
dude,
stuff,
that's
guys.
good. Hey, we love the
Research and
nerdiness in
development
it.
of the sport.
Dude, this is cool. Like, you got to remember, look at his servo mount. Tell him everything you did to this thing.
Okay, so to fit the SCX-10 2 axles under it, the original Viterra ones, I was actually having trouble with the panhard hitting the servo, so what I did is actually ground the plastic out and brought the servo up into the actual chassis more to bring the pinion up, or pinion the, yeah, you guys know what that's called. The arm that turns it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that thing. And so I actually had to make this aluminum brace just to kind of keep the plastic rigid, especially when steering. This thing started moving a little bit more. The back one was pretty bulky enough after grinding up, pulling the servo, that was fine. But this is just to help with the secondary, keeping the thing just a little more rigid in the steering for the frame. And then on top of that, one of the other cool things is they're a little weathered, but these frame sliders are incorporated with a Lexan piece. And the rock light's actually recessed up into the piece. So you're never gonna scratch the rock light out, but it's out far enough to get you a good visual under the rig at night. And these slide really well over rocks. This Lexan is just part of the things I wanted to incorporate into the build, where when this thing's on a rock, instead of metal where it's digging in, it actually just slides right off with the Lexan. So when you get it on the center of the chassis, pinned on the frame rails, it just wants to pivot right off. So you don't really get hung up there. And then on top of that, for the lighting system, this is actually a Don Hughes trick originally. It's pretty popular down south, but
shout out to Don Hughes, Proline
driver. Yeah, he's the Don father. This is my body mounts for the front. So instead of having to plug in wires every time I remove the body, when you put the positive and the negative terminals on the post, there's connections right here, and then I have this to kind of make it look a more scale. ESP Josh. I hate body clips ever since watching Scale Wars.
Oh, Josh, what's up, man?
Yeah.
And so this is just my way of making it where it's easy. You don't have to worry about any other wires. You just put the body on, put the screws in, and it's good to go.
Show them magic real quick.
Magic?
Magic. Show them lights go on by just putting the body on.
All right.
It's amazing.
This is and this is just pressing them on.
Just pressing.
So when the screws go in here and press the actual connections together, the lights come on.
RC
and then you never have to deal with it. And then because I was running out of switch room and stuff like that, this fuel cell that I painted red, added this scale detail with the fuel input, the breather hose with the breather vent, the Proline fuel pumps with the actual wiring. This houses everything. The cool thing about the lights is with the rock lights, I actually incorporated in these switches back here the actual rock lights, so it's easy on the trail. If you're just like sitting steady talking with friends, you can shut them off, save a little battery, even though the Roberts RC rock lights don't draw much amps out of the battery. Just kind of nice way to just shut it off and on really quickly without doing it through the remote and wasting, because I mean, let's be honest, some of us are on a budget. We can't afford these 7-channel Futaba radios now, so it's just one of my ways of keeping it cheap and keeping it somewhat scale. So
well, for somewhat scale, it is an amazing build, bro, and that's the reason why we wanted to take some time for you to show that, man. You went above and beyond. I'll tell you this, I started a Vatera but drifted away from it, and you know that's a cult classic in this community, but this one is the reason why I was like, I'm getting this a Vatera, and I'm one of the most happiest people in the world, and proud. You'd be like, yeah, I got a Vatera, baby. It's right there. Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna give him some time to talk about this other product on the table. Let's get the table back up. All right, you guys, now that you've seen this amazing crawler, you brought this product for us to see, man. What you brought out here for us to check out?
This is the brand new release this week, Proline Short Course 4x4, SC 4x4. It is based off the MT 4x4, the Monster Truck Pro MT that we have out, probably I think about a couple months now, actually 6-7 months. But this is the new product. This just came out, and this is their new short course platform. Coming from racing and crawling and everything else, one thing I really like about this car is I've been testing with it for a couple of months now. This car it works really well at the track. And one thing I have to iterate on is a lot of cars, you know, you can go out to the track, you can play with them, but when you go bash them, they're a little more fragile.
This truck can take a whooping?
This truck can take a whooping. I mean, we can prove that on the show. We'll bring it out and let some guys try it. It's an awesome platform. I love it. You can beat the snot out of it. And
hold up. You think I could drive it?
I'll let you drive it.
All right, because I can put a whooping on it. It's a product, right?
Oh yeah. If there is someone here who could really put something to the test, it's these guys right here. So, yeah, be my guest. We'll take it to the beach. We'll beat the snot out of it.
Me and Jay got a jump that'll send it into the sky.
All right, let's do it. I am totally down. That's what it's all about. Product development and testing.
I love this.
All metal chassis.
This is amazing chassis. I mean, the side
and the feel. It's in your hand. It's nice, cold metal. You feel it's firm. These are the plastic pieces that's not going to break on you. They put a little rubber to give you a little bend instead of the cheaper plastic that just snaps. So this is meant to cartwheel, flip, jump, crash, and win.
You watch any of the MT videos of the monster truck version, it's just a shorter wheelbase, bigger tires.
Very fun vehicle.
Log those trucks.
On the beach.
On the beach, everywhere, and this is just basically the same platform, but what I love about this is I felt really quick with this at the track. Had a blast with it, but it's also a car I'm not scared to go out in a parking lot with and just absolutely send it as far as I can. Really awesome platform. 8-scale design drivetrain, just like the MT. It can take some punishment. I mean, we're running, well, this one, for instance, I have a 2650 kV 8-scale motor with a Mamba Monster ESC, and I run this on 4S. I mean, this truck, with the bigger tires, I can reach speeds of 70 miles an hour, and the drivetrain's fine. So, just gotta bring it out and show it to you guys.
Yeah. I can't wait till he puts it together, because guess what? It looks like Sean's gonna be on the show yet again, all right? So you guys stay tuned for another phenomenal Proline product out here on this show, all right? Send us out of here, bro.
It's Highway 1 channel. Hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.